Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to do, well, it's changed. It was supposed to be a chicken cheesesteak skillet, and I just didn't think it had enough body. So I'm actually going to make it a chicken cheesesteak pasta skillet, and I'm going to use chicken and roasted garlic tortellini. And the reason I'm using that is instead of boiling a pasta, because you could use any pasta you want, but you're going to have to boil that off first and cook it and then put it into the dish. With the tortellini, it's fresh and it's partially, it's going to cook a lot faster, maybe in 2 or 3 minutes. So I can just put it in the dish, throw some water in there, put on a lid, steams, and it's going to cook it. So first of all, the original recipe calls for 3 chicken breasts, and I like the flavor of chicken thighs better. It has more flavor, I think. And so today I'm just going to use chicken thighs, and I'm just slicing these probably about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, closer to 1/4 inch slices. And you do the same thing with the chicken breasts. And I guess I should turn this heat on this induction cooker, or we're not going to be having any chicken cooking. I did get most of the fat off. I left a little bit of fat on because the fat, there's flavor in the fat. So I like to leave a little bit of that on there and get some of that flavor into it. I'm going to let this get really warm, because even though this is non-stick, if you don't let it get hot first and you put it in there with the cold meat, which I've had the meat out for about 20 minutes, because it's always better to cook it warm, than a little bit warm, than being cold, because when it hits that and it's cold, it's going to stick no matter whether it's non-stick or not. Then you're going to have a problem. So I'm just going to finish slicing this up while that heats up. I'm going to use, unfortunately, no vegetables from my garden, but I do have my garden planted. I've got lettuce, I've got Swiss chard, I got rainbow chard, cabbage, peas, a mess of different kinds of flowers, 3 different kinds of tomatoes. I'm so happy. Last year, as you guys know, I lost my garden to a big old tree. And this year, I'm probably overcompensating because I'm just making this nice and big, and is actually beautiful too, because I'm putting a lot of flowers in there. And so with the flowers from inside the garden and the flowers from Brody's Memorial Garden, our dog that passed away, that all of you guys know, we're going to have all kinds of pollinators up here. So hopefully everything's going to really bloom out and produce a lot of fruit this year. Got that a little bit hot. I'm going to wash off my hands a little bit here while that's heating up. Also, another thing I'm changing out is the cheese. It calls for provolone cheese because pepper steak sandwich or chicken pepper steak is going to have provolone, but I'm using mozzarella, a mixture of about 1/2 cup mozzarella and then 1/2 cup of Monterey Jack and cheddar mixed. Just give it a little bit more flavor. I still got a little water in my hands, so let's check that. Yep, it's hot. So I'm going to put this in. Actually, before I do that, I want to season this meat and get it turned back up. Remember, you want to season every layer of your dish so you get flavor throughout instead of just the sauce or the topping. So I'm going to put some salt and pepper and a little garlic powder. And then we'll start getting that tossed together, mix it up. Let's get that. Oops, a little piece trying to jump off onto my tablecloth. We're going to get that in. So let me get a cutting board here, and we're going to dice up these peppers and onions. So I got 1 nice yellow onion, white onion, sweet onion. You can use any kind of onion you want. Purple onion would be nice in there too, I think. Give it a little more color. I'm just going to slice this up and get the outer skin off. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the meat. I'm just going to do small slices, about 1/4 inch. There's 1. And let's move that over there so I can get this other one done real quick. Oh, that chicken's already smelling good. Yeah, as I mess everything up. All right, so there's my onion. turn this up one more. I got a medium. This induction cooktop has been a blessing. I've actually got two of them. I bought it back when Paula was selling them on, I think, Evine. And they have worked great up here. As you guys know, we're in a camper that's turned into a cabin. But I don't like using the gas stove because it puts off too much humidity. And then you start getting mold and different things growing in here. So I've used this ever since we've moved here. And then I've got, there it goes. See, it's releasing for me. Now I've got the little convection oven back there that's worked great. Now, once the chicken starts getting almost cooked, I'm going to throw in the onions and the peppers. So let me get something to put these onions in so I can cut the peppers up. Set this aside. And the original recipe again calls for a red pepper and a green. I don't have any green. Unfortunately, I had to buy these at the store. And all they had was red and yellow today. I don't think that's going to be safe for the chickens. We did a count the other day. Oh, sorry about the noise. We did a count the other day, and remember we used to have 18 chickens? We have 42 chickens now. 42 chickens. Started with our 18 egg layers, then got a rooster for them. And then we got silkies. My silkies were doing great. They started laying. So I thought, well, let's try to incubate some of those eggs. So I put 7 of the eggs in an incubator one day. And we have 7 baby silkies. And then I also incubated a friend of ours, Terry, who started us with the rabbits and the silkies. She gave us some eggs, and only one of them was fertile, and it hatched. So we have that one out there. It's a olive egger. I don't know what breed though. And since it was the only one hatched, I went and bought 4 from Rural King, and they were all Polish, so they're going to be some fancy chickens. All right, that's getting halfway cooked, so I'm going to throw in the onions so that can start cooking down a little bit. Get some there. And you're going to, if you want, you can either dice the peppers or do them in strips. If you're going to leave them in strips, you're going to want to cook them down so they get a little bit soft and they're not big old sticks in your mouth when you're eating. All right. Now let's get some more color. We'll get some red. Doo-doo. That's a good place to start cutting on this one. It's more of a triangle than a square. And I'm not real worried about leaving a little bit more pepper on here than usual because, like I said, it's going to the chickens. And they love treats at night. They love whatever we have left over for dinner, that's for sure. That's going to go right there for them. Get this done. All right, all the peppers are in. Everybody's in the steam bath here. Now let's season all of this up. And I'm going to, of course, use salt and pepper. Probably about half a teaspoon of each. You can use whatever your family likes, how you guys like your seasonings. And of course, I'm going to put some garlic powder in there. I don't have any fresh garlic, but I do have garlic growing in the garden. So that will be coming on soon. I planted it last fall and it's looking great. So probably about a half teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon for me, of garlic powder. Some basil. I'm getting short on my basil. My basil plants need to start growing. Probably about a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of basil. If you're using fresh basil, you'd use a full teaspoon because dried is more intensified in the flavor, so you want to use a little less. And probably about half a teaspoon of oregano. And let's give it some smoked paprika, maybe half a teaspoon. Here we go. Now let's just get this all mixed together. Now I'm going to cover this and let it just simmer here for about 2 or 3 minutes, soften up them veggies, and we'll be back. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. The vegetables are softening up. I can break right through with a wooden spoon. So now I'm going to taste the chicken and just get a little bit of flavor taste here. Make sure I don't have enough, or I do have enough seasonings. Get a piece of chicken, and that needs more salt. I'm going to go from the crank over to just putting it on here. Because remember, we're going to put that pasta in, and usually you're going to cook your pasta in salt water to give it some flavor. You want to salt it like the sea. We're not doing that, so we're going to make sure the whole thing is pretty well covered in seasoning. All right, now, like I said, I'm going to use the family size. This is 20 ounces, the Bertolli. If you use regular pasta, like a rotelli or spiral or macaroni or penne, just cook it off almost al dente. So it's just a little bit underdone. That way you can mix it in. And I'm not going to put it down in the bottom of the pan because I don't want it to burn to the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to put about a half cup of water. It's going to start steaming. We're going to let it cook that pasta for about 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll be back again. Okay, let's check the pasta and see if it's cooking well. Yes, it is. You're going to be careful of this fresh because it will overcook really quick. Start coming apart and getting a little mushy. So now I'm going to put in probably about 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Like I said, I'm just making this one up as I go. So I got a little bit of sauce there. I'm going to decrease the heat down to a medium-low and put in about half of the cheese. Mix that up. I do want a little bit of a creamy sauce on here. All right, and I'm going to put the rest of the cheese right on top. Let it melt over top of that. And I don't have any parsley in here. Got to make it look nice, so let's put a little bit of oregano on top. You know we got to make it pretty. We're going to cover that. I'm going to take it down to low. Just let that cook until the cheese melts. We'll be right back again. All right, while that is finishing cooking off and melting the cheeses in there, I do want to say, send my condolences to Terry. She's the lady that we got the rabbits, our lion head rabbits, and our silky chickens from. She got me started in both of those. She wanted to make sure that I had good stock to get started with, and she's such a blessing. She gave me some of the most beautiful lion head rabbits and silkies, and believe it or not, 2 of them you guys have seen, Thumper and Diane. Diane's the one that we had to nurse back to health in December. We almost lost her. She just had babies on Tuesday. Today is Saturday. So here's a picture of her babies the day they were born, and they're doing well. Diane's doing a great job. Thumper, well, Daddy Thumper, he's over there. He's now an indoor rabbit. He has his own little hutch, and he likes to go in and out of it, play on a little pad we have in front of the hutch, and he is such a good look. I don't know how he became such a good indoor rabbit so quickly, but I want to send my condolences out to Terry for her father passing away, and if you guys can send her some prayers and thoughts, that'd be nice too. So I think this is ready. I'm gonna turn this off. Ooh, that looks amazing. And I bet it tastes amazing too. I'm gonna get a fork. Get me a bite over here. Such a simple dish, not a lot of ingredients. The seasoning's what's bring it off. I can taste the oregano and basil in there, the garlic. You could also add tomatoes to this, fresh tomatoes if you added more canned tomatoes. But this is just, as I said, started out as a chicken Philly steak dish, and I changed it up into a pasta dish. So give this one a try. I'm going to put all the ingredients down below in the description box and over on my website, gregs-kitchen.com. And until next time, y'all take care. Love you and God bless. Bye-bye.